Must Stay Media Crew, and we're here today to interview our principal. This is the follow-up to the original. I am returning. My name's Cameron, so as well as Daniel. This is Jordan. So, how you doing today, sir?
I'm great, man. I'm awesome.
All right. Well, thank you for coming up here. You know, that's quite a walk up the stairs. And we just wanted to ask you a couple of questions today. More just follow up with the original interview that we had.
Absolutely.
Daniel, you can start off.
Okay, I got Joe Garvey. Okay, how has your plan for the school year worked so far?
Man, it's working superbly. I'm, first of all, humble and honored and proud of the students and staff, how they have embraced me and welcomed me, number one. Number two, I'm extremely proud of the way the student body have evolved in just a short period of time since I've been here since February the 13th, and how they've embraced the new initiatives that have been implemented on our campus.
Okay, and another question. Do you feel like your effort have been effective?
Absolutely, absolutely. I strongly feel that the things that we put in place and the expectations that we've set and the mindset of striving for excellence in all areas have indeed been beneficial for all involved, students and staff alike.
Nobody in the hallway.
I agree with you. Yeah,
Like before you got here, everybody was in the hallway.
I agree with you.
Get our attendance, leave. And everybody would be in the flex room chilling now. Ain't nobody be in the hallway.
I agree with you a lot.
And it's, you guys, it's not just about, you know, Mr. Matthews. It's a collective effort, you know. The laws of the land were already here before I got here. They weren't being implemented. You're absolutely correct. And I can tell you now, and you guys will learn this the older you all get, that a rule, a law, a policy is only as strong as those people who are implementing them.
Definitely.
And once we implemented the rules of engagement that were already in place, then it made for a better learning environment.
Yes, sir.
I agree with you.
And on to switch the topic. How do you feel about Maynard athletics so far? Like, you know, you were here through basketball. You're kind of going through track. Like, what do you think? How do you feel about it?
I'm gonna tell you right now, in just my short period of time, I can truly see how Maynard ISD athletic department is gonna be the beltway to Austin, between Austin and Houston. We've got some phenomenal student athletes here, and the reason why they're phenomenal is because they realize they're students first, and then they're athletes second. And so their priorities are in check, you know, just like yourself. You know that you're here to take care of your academics first, and your athletic ability only highlights you as a student athlete. So I think that the sky's the limit. We've got a lot of juniors coming back that are ready to hit the gridiron. The basketball team is still young. We're only losing, I think, about 3 or 4 seniors. And so those guys are going to be headed back to San Antonio next year, I think, in a lot of ways. The track team looks good. Soccer girls went to the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, overall, our athletic department is on a new high, hitting a new level of performance. And it's only going to get greater later.
Definitely. I agree.
My second question is, why was there a change in the use of the flex room so dramatically? How do you see it?
Well, I mean, one of the things that we had to put in place as the instructional leader on our campus is to explain the purpose of the flex room. And sometimes when you get a new school and there are no expectations set, sometimes the areas in the building are taken advantage of. And so with that being said, in coming in the middle of the school year, I had to reanalyze and to reestablish the purpose of the flex room. And the flex room, guys, are only an instructional extension of the classroom. It's not a place to go and chill and hang out and eat and drink and party and kick back. It's an instructional area that's an extension of the classroom that allows teachers to have a different atmosphere or an environment for which they can take their classes to learn. Sometimes it becomes boring and mundane in the classroom. So the flex room is a different environment, a different place where kids can collaborate, work one-on-one, work by themselves, as well as have a full class of instruction in a place different from the regular classroom environment. And so I wanted to make sure that we were utilizing the flex rooms for which they were built.
Well, I know that even now, sometimes like the teacher will come and say like, you just can't be in there at all, like unless your entire class is there. Well, because I know that there's some students, even with me, classroom gets loud, you get headaches. You want
Yeah,
there's
facts,
other
yeah,
kids who
definitely.
don't really take academics so seriously.
Absolutely.
And you wanna get your work done. So you like, Mr. or Miss, can I get a pass to the flex room, get my work done, come back and be
Absolutely.
straight.
Some teachers don't trust you. Though.
Yeah,
They
some
feel
teachers be
you're
like,
not
no.
gonna go.
Right,
Now,
right.
even if you got a pass or
Yeah.
pass, they just tell you, nah,
Nah,
gotta
you
stay in
like,
class.
Right.
you can show them the pass and they're still like, nah, you gotta go back to class. find
And,
somewhere to
and the
be.
reason why some teachers have taken on the mindset of all or nothing is because you guys, being good students, you all may get a pass to go to the flex room to take a test that you're making up, right? And then one of your homeboys who may not be taking their education seriously comes by and sees you, and then they want to chill with you, not realizing that they're interrupting what?
What you're trying to
What
do.
you're trying to do instructionally, and they're just skipping class. So to eliminate that from happening, some teachers are saying, you know what, I'd just rather for you to stay in my classroom and finish your assignment than to be out there and draw attention to yourself where you can get in trouble and other kids can get in trouble too. So I understand that completely, but let me stress once again, for teachers who have that balance, and I encourage them all teachers who would like to utilize a flex room for the purpose that they were built, I encourage you, number one, to allow students to go in there that are respectful and that can be trusted to take care of their business when it comes to individualized testing and or assignments, especially those kids who may have missed school and they have to make up work, you know? It's a good place for them to go make their work up so they can catch up with the rest of the class. Otherwise, the teachers can still use that as a holistic area where they can take their whole class to work and get instruction from the teacher.
All right, I just have a couple more that I have myself, and then I have like a list of questions.
No
or
problem.
Some of them that have come from people I've asked around school and things of that nature.
Absolutely.
All right, so for me, I just wanted to ask, I've been downstairs towards like the counselor's room and like been helping down there and stuff. I've noticed a lot of writing on the boards for like, I guess in your plans for next year.
Yes.
And I was seeing some things like 5-minute passing periods and hour lunches. And I just wanted to ask, like, what are your guys' plans for next year going forward?
Well, right now, I'm going to hesitate in rolling out the full plan. I will tell you guys this, okay? There are going to be some changes, at the least minimal changes to the Bell schedule. And the reason why I say that is because Mr. Matthews, as well as other principals within the district, we want to maximize instructional time. And the way you maximize instructional time is that you sometimes have to minimize the passing period. Right now, Maynard High School and Maynard Senior High School are the only high schools that I personally know, and I know a lot of them, that have a 10-minute passing period.
It helps, though.
Yeah.
When you think about it, it
Yeah,
helps.
and
Yeah,
one of
it
the
do.
reasons is because what? We share campuses. We have kids who
Yeah,
have
exactly,
classes
yeah,
at the
so-
high school. We also have kids who have classes at the senior high school. So that gives them opportunity to go to and fro to be on time. But what Mr. Matthews have observed is that the majority of our kids have all their classes here. There's a minimum number of students that actually take the transportation over to the high school from our campus. And so a lot of those kids, when they arrive on our campus, I'm noticing they're still chilling for 3, 4, 5 minutes. And so those are the 3 or 4 or 5 minutes that we can add to instructional time to give to you all that much needed teacher directed instruction that'll prepare you for what? The STAR, those EOCs, as well as your final exams. And those are the reasons why we're looking at possibly restructuring the Bell schedule.
And could I ask, well, just to follow up with that, because how do I say this? I've noticed in a lot of my classes, and seeing as I take a lot of transportation back and forth on B days and A days, like I've noticed that we have like 2 to 3 buses of kids, but when you saying like you see a lot of kids, is that just because there's such a, I guess, a large discrepancy onto how many kids are going back and forth?
Yeah, you got to remember, you still have some sophomores as well as some freshmen who are taking upper level courses on the senior high school campus. And so we have to accommodate those kids. For one, they don't have a driver's license, okay?
Yeah.
So we have to provide them, which they deserve, to have that public school transportation provided to them so they can transfer from one campus to the other, okay? And understanding that until both campuses are independent of each other, and that's going to be for a while. And it's working right now because myself and Mr. Bailey are working cohesively in our planning and our strategies to make sure that we make all kids have feasible transportation from one campus to the other, but making sure that those kids who don't have classes on the other campus, making sure those kids are taken care of too on our home campuses.
Have you ever had a school that did like transportation like this or not?
No, this is the first time I've experienced where two different campuses share personnel as well as share students. Okay,
That's crazy, huh?
and it's incumbent upon us to make sure that we accommodate all kids.
That other school was too crowded.
Yeah.
It was like
Everybody was getting trapped in,
Yeah,
that
like
lunch
literally.
hallway.
Well, in doing my homework, I came to the understanding that Manor High School was really built to be a 3A school.
yeah, it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not a
It
big
just got
school.
big out of nowhere.
And
like-
then you got to remember,
Manor
Manor,
was little.
Texas is one of the fastest growing areas
so
outside of
crazy.
Austin. And so, and it's going to continue to grow.
It's gonna go
And
crazy.
when you have a 3A campus that's supposed to hold anywhere between 500 to 700 kids, holding 1,800 kids,
It's not.
it doesn't make for a good learning environment.
Like we was like schools
Everyone
going
was
through
cramped
like
in, and like even in the
literally.
classrooms, nothing really was getting, like I would say, done because there were so many kids in there.
Right.
So many. Just,
Right. And so what the vision of Dr. Avery really established was let's build a new school
That was
to
smart.
where our juniors and seniors can be housed for the most part, as well as give the freshmen and sophomores
Hey, listen,
somewhere to look forward to
Oh, yeah,
attending.
that
You see
too.
what I'm saying? And so it's kind of like I'm gonna earn the right when I get the right credits to
Yeah.
be on the junior senior high school.
Yeah, definitely.
I just have a bunch of, I guess, community questions I've had
Okay.
gathered for like the last couple of days.
Absolutely.
So one of them was, what was your first reaction before spring break when all the seniors like organized themselves outside, and then to follow up like,
Oh, we're gonna cut this out, right?
yeah,
All right, cool.
Can you hear me?
I'm straight.
Can you hear me fine? Hey.
Straight.
We're good.
All right. Well, one of the questions I got was, what was your first reaction, and I guess thoughts when the seniors organized themselves before the spring break when we all went outside, and the rest of the administration?
I was extremely proud of the senior class, and let me tell you why. It's because when you see a group of students who are taking initiative in a peaceful meeting, one that's seemingly organized and may not have been in the building, but you all took it to the parking lot, but you were still willing to listen to each other's ideas. And that's the beginning of maturity when you're learning how to collaborate with other people. And so, which is the way of the world when it comes to preparing y'all for, college and career readiness. And so I was honored and proud of you guys that y'all were out there discussing amongst yourselves what you would like to do, how you were going to do it, and then finding the resources to get it done. What I wanted and what has taken place in the last couple of days is a more organized effort in working with the sponsors you guys have to make sure that you all be able to take part in activities during your senior week.
All right, and then, well, one more question, just to, I guess, follow up with that, would be, when could we expect the room, or like the lecture hall, or space for us to organize ourselves, like, inside the school as requested? And to follow up with those sponsors, like, I personally don't know what sponsors you're speaking
Yeah, I was just about to ask that too. I was just about
Yeah,
to
and
ask.
I'm glad you said that. A lot of the seniors have expressed not knowing who the sponsors are, and that's something that I'm not used to, okay? I'm used to seniors working with their class sponsors from the beginning of their senior year, actually from the beginning of their ending of their junior year, planning, looking forward to their senior year. And so coming in once again, February 13th, Mr. Matthews is working on establishing a new decorum and a new expectation when it comes to that. And so hopefully and prayerfully the junior class won't have to experience that. But the fact that you all came together and put your ideas on paper, that made it easy for me to talk with the senior sponsors who will be familiarizing themselves with you guys and
Hopefully.
meeting with you all to let you
Hopefully.
all know what we've discussed, okay? I promise you that.
And is the school itself or the district planning anything, I I guess, recreational or anything for the seniors this year, such as senior trips or anything like that?
I'm a,
Like student versus staff.
I can tell you right now, I apologize right now, Coach Swain. I promise I wouldn't say anything, okay?
Well,
But there's supposed to be
I ain't
a
even
plan
seen
being
that,
put in
so.
place for a seniors versus faculty and staff basketball game, okay? And there's
we need
also
to keep
gonna-
it going though. Like,
Yeah,
yeah. Because
there's also
we
going
used
to be
to do
an
it, but we
activity
stopped.
for you all for every day of the week,
Okay.
the last week of finals for those kids who have met the requirement.
Okay, what's the requirement for juniors?
Okay, so for juniors,
I mean, well, like, what's the, say if we meet the requirement? Like,
the
what
juniors
is
have to be passing all your classes just like the seniors with an 80 or above average.
Okay, cool.
Okay. You've had to have passed all of STAR, of course, except for the U.S. history, because you guys take that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you have to be on track to graduate. What that means
You
is
gotta
that
have
you're,
enough
you're
credits,
not
so-
a part of credit recovery.
Okay,
In
cool.
essence. Okay.
Cool.
You're on point to graduate with your 26 credits or your 26 with an endorsement.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Is that fair enough? All right.
I have no issue with that. And then when could we expect more information about prom and graduation and stuff of that nature?
You're supposed to be meeting with your sponsors this upcoming week, okay? And they're going to lay down the itinerary, inform you of the itinerary of events for every senior,
Okay.
okay? And remember, there are expectations and requirements when it comes to prom, when it comes to activities away from campus. The decorum and respectability still has to be there. I want you to have fun, okay?
Yeah.
But you're still representing your school, you're representing your parents, and most of all, you're representing yourselves, okay?
All right, and then I just have a couple more left for you. One of the main ones I got from students like today was, why do you speak so loud during announcements?
Well,
I hear you in the football field. We out there in the morning. I hear you.
well, for one,
That's hey, that's lit.
I can't help
I like that.
being 6'5", 260. Okay?
That's the
So
little
blame it on
old
my
school
folks.
lean on me. That's
All
how they
right.
being announcing.
But
yeah, I like
it-
that.
if you tell the truth, guys, nobody in the building should be able to say they didn't hear Mr. Matthew.
Yeah,
Okay,
facts.
and I want what I
Okay.
say not just to be heard, but to be listened to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 'cause if you
some people, when
loud,
they hear it, just goes through one ear and out the other.
Exactly,
But
but
if you
you
listening,
loud,
if I get your attention,
feel you.
that means you're listening. It's gonna sink in. You're absolutely
Being loud
correct.
gonna make you listen. You gonna listen. To
Any
me.
more
God,
questions from the peanut gallery?
I'm done today.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for us?
Well, you know what? I'm glad you asked that. How do you all feel? Because I'm the type of principal and type of administrator. I like to get buy-in and input from our student body because your words are valuable as well. So how do you feel? Starting with you, how do you
Like
feel?
about
this-
you?
Yes, sir.
I ain't even gonna lie. You the best teacher, best principal coming to Maynard. On God, on God.
Like it was
from
it
my
was-
perspective,
it was Mr. Bailey,
Maynard.
or you first, honestly,
ain't
and then
no-
Mr. Bailey, because y'all both are able to like. To what was
No,
before
bro.
y'all, it was broken. It was obviously broken. Something
wish you
wasn't
would've seen
working.
Maynard before
You
you
came
came.
in, put your authority, make sure that people were implementing. The
He
rules.
put his foot
For
down.
real, put his foot down.
I
Now
like
everything
that.
going Smooth.
I promise.
Well, you know what? I credit you guys too. And let me tell you why I credit you guys. Is because it takes a mature student to be able to accept change.
Yeah, because at
Yeah.
first, like when you first had that little meeting in
You're right.
the gym, we was all like, "Who is this dude?"
Who is
Yeah,
this
yeah.
guy?
Why he think?
You
why he
you
think
saw
he-
you.
Yeah.
We're
You
like, bro,
saw.
why he think he just gonna up and change stuff? Like
He
things be
even
going
saw.
so well,
Now
of
it's
course,
like
it's like
Yeah. But you know what? A lot of things are going good, but what Mr. Matthews desires for things to go great. And when you have a spirit of excellence on your mind and your heart, you want to see all kids be successful. And that's my desire. I
Definitely.
want each kid in this building to leave with a diploma in one hand and a plan of action in the other. And although I appreciate your accolades, I appreciate your strokes and your words of encouragement, I want to know it's about you.
Yeah.
It's about you. It's about you and what you're going to do when you leave me, okay? And when you leave me, what am I going to hear about you three guys in 4 to 5 years? Am I going to hear that you have started your own business, or that you've been promoted on the job, or that you just received your associate's degree from ACC, or you just received your bachelor's degree, or that you're starting to work on your master's? You know, those are the type of things that make principals' hair on the back of our heads stand up.
like, dang,
Because that lets me
my
know
job.
that when I had that first assembly in that gym, I was doing and saying the right thing.
Yes, sir.
Facts.
Okay, so
Obviously, something worked.
you're
You doing the
right.
right thing, I promise.
So
real.
I see how my man feel. How do you feel?
I feel that you doing great.
I appreciate it, man.
I promise, great. Like before,
Like everything was broken.
was you here last year? No, right?
Nah,
Dude, I promise.
Like things were going the same way for the longest time.
Wow.
Kids, you know, be
do
like, oh, I'll just get my attendance, I'll be straight.
and gone all in the courtyard just chilling. Like, look, Mr. Gist, no.
You look, Mr. Guest, look, get my attendance. I'll be like, either I'm getting like,
Promise.
okay, I'm not me. I do the same thing sometimes. I'll get my attendance and be like, I'll go get something
was
to eat.
easy.
Right.
Get something to eat.
Right.
Come back, 15 minutes. Oh, cool. I just get my work done and then be straight, still
Right.
passing the class. Or I just go to sleep and know that I still bound. I
And
still
you know
cop
what?
my work.
I'm glad you guys are able to admit that because that was the easy way out.
Yeah.
What I want you guys to understand, it takes a real mature 11th and 12th grade to stay in the classroom for 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's
Because I'm gonna tell you guys something. Y'all hear me. Hear me good. You're gonna have jobs where you're gonna be working 6 to 7 hours, 8 hours. Sometimes you're gonna be on a job that has a 12-hour shift or a
At
10-hour
work, I'll be
shift.
like, bro, this
Okay.
time needs to come on.
Hey, check this out. I've got fraternity brothers and friends who are firemen, and they work a 24-hour shift.
Because you never know what
Some
can
of them work a 48-hour shift. They do a double shift. So I wanted to make sure that I was doing everything in my power to set you guys' stamina up
Yeah,
for
because
success. You see what
Okay,
I'm saying?
I got one question. Can we get 8 periods back?
I'm gonna tell you
eight
something.
periods a day.
We got
I like
8
the
periods.
8 periods a day. We used to have
Check
8
this
periods a
out.
day.
Let me tell you why 8 periods is something that I like to stay away from. The more movement you have on a campus, the more disciplinary problems you have. The less movement, the less disciplinary problems you have.
you
And let me
chilling.
show you something.
You
If all students are in the classroom 90 minutes, they're getting impacted by that instruction without interruption.
yeah.
But if the bell rings every 50 minutes,
Oh,
you see what I'm saying?
I'm ready to get out.
So let me paint a picture for you right now. Right
that
now,
down.
on our campus, the bell rings twice before first period, twice in between the first period and second period, twice in between second and third, twice in between third and fourth, and of course at the end of the day.
And then you mix in like all the classes in one day.
So that's 2, 4, 6, 8. That's 9 bells on a block schedule. On an 8-period day,
Facts.
you double that.
Yeah.
It goes from what? 9 to 18 bells a day. Do you know what kind of craziness that we had to ring the bell 18 times during the school day?
And even the teachers,
I
like,
ain't even gonna
"Hey,
lie.
this bill
I like
again."
the better.
Absolutely.
Because I hate
absolutely.
staying in class for 90 minutes.
I ain't gonna
So,
lie. And the only reason why I don't necessarily like the block schedule is because when the last like 2, 3 weeks of the 6 weeks, I'm like, I don't even have that teacher now. Then I gotta go and go all different places.
Right.
That's another thing.
Instead of being like, oh, I got that teacher later, bam, I get this work
Right.
in, be straight.
But you know what? You guys can handle it. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
But for those kids who can't handle interruptions a lot, because you got to remember we have our special ed population has to be taken care of. You got our kids with attention deficit, and we got to make sure that we cater to all kids. Okay. And so less movement, more focus. More movement, more distractions. Y'all with me? And plus, I'm almost inclined to believe that the coaches don't want to have y'all just for 50 minutes and then let you go.
That's why we come in at 8 o'clock
You know
in
what
the
I'm saying?
morning.
You know what I'm saying? So tell me, they've told me how they feel. How do you feel about things?
I would say with me being new and coming from a completely different, I guess, environment, because I moved and like to start off the year, it was cool. I was cool with everything that was going on, and then when you got here, like it was I guess a big culture shock or whatever, because to switch from how everything was to now and like RSOs walking around and Torres and Coleman throwing out ISS for being in the hallway and stuff. Like, I guess now, like, I'm cool with it. I've been able to adjust
I
to it.
appreciate that.
But it was,
It was an adjustment.
yeah, because from where I'm from, like, we don't get all of that. I guess, like, we used to security at the door and then that's it, and then you straight.
Yeah, let me tell you something about any campus that I'm working at or I've worked at. Wherever I've been, I've gone by the 3 V's. Be visual, be seen, be vocal, make sure you're heard, okay, and be vigilant. And vigilance means staying on top of your game. Okay? And if I'm going to be a true instructional leader, and if I'm going to continue to strive for excellence for you guys, then I'm going to be here. I'm going to be at work. You're going to hear me. Okay?
We hear you.
Okay? And then I'm going to support you in your efforts. I'm not going to be the kind of principal who just sits in the office and make rules. I'm going to be in the hallways. I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to have you where you're supposed to be. I'm going to keep you safe. And I'm going to tell y'all something. In just a couple of years, you're going to be in my position. In leadership positions, whether it's going to be education, whether it's Samsung, whether it's AT&T, whether it's being a manager at Walmart. And you're going to have to be vocal, vigilant, and visible. And that's what Mr. Matthews wants you guys to live by, all right? I want the best that life has to offer you. And I promise you, if you ride with me for these last 36 days of school, everybody get across the finish line and win.
Definitely.
Fair enough? Appreciate you guys, man.
Oh, we got one.
There's the bell.
We clutch with it.